Hi everyone, it's Nicki here and I am back with yet more of these author questions. I'd say we're just past the halfway point now, aren't we? We've got something like 7 or 8 videos behind us and we've got 5 left, which I'm hoping to get all filmed today for you. So I've changed the angle, as you'll see a bit, a slightly different camera angle, just change things up a bit more interest for you than just seeing the same books behind me all the time. So without further ado, let's press on. Today we're doing questions 49 through to 54. So, question 49. What must you have when you write? Not much. I mean, as I've said in a previous video, these days I start with pad and pen, so I obviously do require those to kick me off. I do like to have a cup of tea or a glass of water, either of those next to me when I'm writing. It's good to have them there ready, because otherwise I'll sit there for 2 or 3 hours and not have anything to drink if I'm really deep in the story. So I usually have a cup of tea and a glass of water to start with, so I can drink the water a bit at first while the tea cools a little, then drink the tea, and then I've still got some water left for later on as well. So I guess they're my most important things, a bit of liquid refreshment as I write. Question 50. How much support for your writing do you get from your family? It's been pretty good. I mean, my husband is probably the main support. When I first decided I was going to start writing in 2011, he was great and he listened to a lot of my stories. He doesn't do it quite so much now just because other things have taken up his time and he doesn't have hours to sit there listening to me read anymore. But in some of the early works, he did sit there and in the evenings and I would read to him where I was up to so far and he'd give me his thoughts. Then my parents and rest of my family back in England, they obviously can't do a lot of practical support being so far away as I'm doing the writing. However, they do buy all my works, of course, and tell other family members and friends about them and things. So they're my sort of vocal outreach program, I guess you'd call them. I mean, my mother buys and reads all my stuff as well, even though that's not really her thing. So they support me that way. Get me a few initial sales from all my new releases. Question 51. If you were to wear a Halloween costume, which book character would you choose? Oh, that's a hard one. Ooh, there's so many, isn't there? So many great characters. Which one would I pick? I'm going to keep you all waiting. I'm sorry. Perhaps some inspiration will strike if I take a look at the bookshelves for a minute. I think it's a really hard question. So a lot of my favourite characters wouldn't have a costume per se. I guess maybe let's say Adele in the Vampire Empire series, because she's one that's just coming straight into my mind that would have a bit more of a costume than just wearing period clothing or something. So let's go with that. It's a bit of a tricky question. If you'd asked me in film or TV or something, I would have come up with a much quicker answer than that. 52. What would you like to say to your fans and readers? Thank you. Thanks for being there, for supporting my work, for reading my work. Hopefully enjoying my stories, and that's the main reason I write them, because I hope that others will come to love the characters and the stories as much as I do as I conceive and write them. So thank you all for being out there, for buying my books, for watching these videos, liking my posts on Twitter, and all the things you do that keep us authors going so that we don't feel that we're talking into the void all the time. Question 53. There have been a lot of trends in literature. Would you jump on the bandwagon? Yes and no. I wouldn't simply for the sake of jumping on the bandwagon. I wouldn't force myself to write a story just because I thought that particular genre or trope was popular. However, if a story that fitted that genre or trope came to mind, I wouldn't not choose to write it. If it tied in with recent trends, then that's great, and hopefully that would give your readership a bit of a boost when you launch. But so I wouldn't avoid doing it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to do it unless a really good story idea occurred to me. Question 54, last one for today. Horror is a popular genre. Could you torture one of your characters? I think I do torture a few of them. I mean, perhaps not in a sort of slasher film kind of way, but I do put them through the ringer a little bit from time to time, emotionally. So I don't have a problem doing that. As long, again, it's always, as long as it's for a reason. Like, I wouldn't write anything in any of my stories that I didn't think had a purpose in the story. You know, horror's popular. I wouldn't try and make my book popular by writing a terrible torture scene in it. I would only put a terrible torture scene in it if the story required one. So again, it's need rather than simply desire. If it fits, if it works, then I would do it, but I wouldn't force myself to do it if it wasn't correct for the feel of the piece. So that's another set of questions over for today, and I will end there, but I look forward to seeing you all again next month when I will be sharing the next 6 questions. Bye for now.